Hi there, today we're going to take a closer look at the Antarctica Global Adventure. So when you buy the digital version of this curriculum, you're going to get the teacher's guide, the student guide, these cute animal matching cards, these animal fact cards that we'll look into a little bit more deeply here in a minute, these food chain coins that you can cut out and make food chains of your own, as well as this really cool activity that we're going to dive into here in a second. So let's take a closer look at it. When you first open the curriculum, you're going to get a welcome and some instructions on how the lessons go. And then you're going to come to the table of contents and you're going to find that there are 26 different lessons. So you can make this unit last about 6 weeks if you want to. I think going at like 2 or 3 lessons a week. It's important to note that this isn't just Antarctica. This is going to cover the polar biome. So we're going to do a lot of comparing and contrasting between the Arctic and the Antarctic and dive deeper into some of these concepts that are unique to the ends of the earth. So if you take a look here, we're going to start by looking at the climate of the Arctic biome and then talk about the differences between the tundra, coastal, and ocean ecosystems and work our through different ecological concepts. After we get through the main ecological concepts of the Arctic biome, we're going to start looking at maps and some of the native people of the Arctic, some arts, paintings, poetry, and some of the explorers that have shaped history in Antarctica. And then finally, we're going to train for going to the Antarctic. So we're going to talk about safety in Arctic conditions and all the different things that people need to do when they're training to go visit Antarctica and then go on a grand adventure as we pretend to be scientists in Antarctica, doing what they do down there, which is pretty cool. So let's take a closer look at the curriculum, what the lessons look like. Okay. I also have additional resources, book suggestions, videos, field trips, all kinds of fun stuffs in here. To here. So here we're looking at the tundra and the different ecosystems you're going to find in the Arctic, different biomes, migration, hibernation, how animals keep warm, different animal adaptations. And we're going to do an animal report, which is by far one of the favorite activities that the kids do in these different global adventures that we have. We're going to take a look at food chains in the Arctic. And they're going to be able to have a chance to build their own, either with the marine biome in the Arctic, like the one shown here, or we have additional coins where they can do it for the land biomes as well. Okay. We're going to look at the Inuit people and some of their traditions and lifestyles, both in the past and present, and some art and poetry inspired by the Arctic, and some of the history of Antarctica. So we're going to take a look at the Antarctic Treaty because Antarctica is a really cool and unique place in that it is shared by many different nations with a common purpose. And so this is the original document from 1959 that was signed by I think 7 or 8 different countries agreeing to share Antarctica and keep it for scientific purposes. So then we're going to start training to go to Antarctica. And this is a lot of fun. They're going to see what it's like to live, walk through whiteout conditions and different safety protocols. They're going to talk about dressing for the conditions and the dangers that come along with hypothermia and frostbite. Then they're going to go on a grand adventure where they have to try to survive an Antarctic adventure with different checkpoints here as they go along. It's kind of a name your own adventure type situation where the choices they make will impact where they go next and whether or not they survive. And so you guys can do it over again and again, which is really fun. And then finally, once they get to Antarctica, they're going to be a scientist there, where they are going to imagine that they are paleontologists looking for fossils, and a particular type of paleontologist that specializes in plant fossils. And so it's really cool because they come over here and they're going to get a letter from their friend in South America here. And she's going to tell them about a fossil that she found. At the same time, they're going to go out and look for fossils of their own, where you can have one like this that you built yourself in a previous lesson, or just a printout laminated one. And then they're going to get a letter from Paleontology Magazine talking about how there is evidence that the continents used to be connected based off of where fossils are found. Now, the older observant child will notice that it is the same fossil in the letter that they have found on their own in their Antarctic explorations, and that their friend has found in South America, and can start piecing together how in the real world they actually found evidence for plate tectonics with fossils found in Antarctica. So it's a really fun lesson, and it's something that they can either piece together, or there's also a way for you to help kind of guide that discovery yourself. And then we are going to talk about what it means to be brave and to be a heroic explorer, and how brave it was for the men who went and explored Antarctica back in the 1900s when little to nothing was known about it. And then finally, at the end, they're going to get a chance to make a little postcard reviewing what they know and do a little bit of review to kind of recap the whole experience. So that's really fun. There's the teacher's guide. In each lesson, we have the objective, materials, lesson, student work, discussion, and even ideas to take the concept a little bit further. And the student guide is where we're going to find all the worksheets. So we have worksheets where we're drawing and writing, but all of these activities are optional. So if your child isn't a proficient writer yet, there's still other options they can do to draw or narrate their experiences instead. Or if you want them to do a little bit more writing, there are extensions to kind of make it grow that way as well. This unit was designed for early to mid-elementary. So it's around that, I would say, 2nd to 4th grade level, but you can move it up or down with each of the lessons as well. There are instructions on how to do that to make it more age appropriate or ability appropriate for your child. And then there is, of course, map work as well to help them learn the shape of the continent. So that is our Antarctica Global Adventure. It is a complete unit, and it is so fun. I have done it twice with my co-op, once with my boys at home, and we absolutely love it and hope that you will too.